Educating, informing, serving. Fact TV, keeping government honest.
Able to get out during this pandemic because of their age and so forth. So many people, the CARES groups, the towns, the companies are volunteering their employees to step up and help because we've changed, as you know, we've changed our service from doing in-home visits, with all of our visitor programs. It's now it's more in and taking orders so that they can pick up at the curb groceries for people who can't get out and drop them off at their houses. That's where all the groups, the Vet to Vet, the Friendly Visitors, and the senior companions, they were just thrilled.
All right. Do you have a number or something that if people want, we can
Yes,
put
we
that
do.
up that they can contact?
Absolutely. It's our helpline number. We're still in the building, working. We don't have walk-in people, but our helpline number is 802-885-2669. And there's a live person that answers that from 8:30 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon.
Okay. So
Otherwise,
that's Senior Solutions if anybody needs medication or food or something like that.
Right.
All right.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
All right.
You're welcome.
Let's see who else is here. Tim and Sherry, did you have any comment or public comments? Janet? All right. We will come back to public comments if people just haven't got that down yet. Boards and officials.
Our microphone was muted.
Oh, there you are. Go
I
ahead. If you've got
got a
public
question. Is
comments.
the meeting being recorded?
Yes.
Thank you.
Did you have any public comments?
Nope, just that question.
Okay. All right, we'll go on to boards and officials then. I've got some information.
That yet?
No, the only thing I know is that they've extended the timeline to July.
Yeah, and I was concerned about that because if it's extended till July, we won't know until August maybe about the homestead.
Right.
I was wondering if we should, well, we don't need to do it now, but we should think about moving the date for our taxes out another month.
Like we did last year.
Maybe October.
Yeah.
If in the worst case and we don't get the information, it may not even be then. What we'll have to do is just refund the money as it comes in. I mean, it'll be a hassle, but I think that would, if it by October we still don't have it, we may just have to send it out and then mail out the rebates when they come into us.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that would seem like it'd be a big hassle for everybody, especially, people paying the full amount of tax if they don't have it.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying that may be what we're forced to do.
Yeah, maybe if we wait till like May or June, maybe we'll hear something from the state when they're proposing to get all that to us. And then once we know the end of summer, we can change the tax date if we need to.
Yeah, I think further along we go, we'll know more about it. But I wouldn't set May as a hard date because I suspect they're not going to know about it.
No. I'm just thinking, a few months down the road, May or June.
Yeah, we'll have to take that up, but that is something we're going to have to consider. So,
Darlene, when do you usually know about the homeowner renter rebates that you put on the tax bills? You usually get that around in July?
June, I believe it is.
You get that in June usually? Okay.
So, all right. Is there anybody else that has anything for boards and officials?
I just have a question for Matt for the roads. I had several people talk to me about a big pothole that's on Route 35.
Yeah, we filled them Wednesday.
Perfect. The one up by just before. Well, it's on the northbound side, but it's just before Herring Hill.
Yep.
Perfect.
There were a couple of good ones there, but we've also got some direction from the state that a lot of the normal work that the highway crew is doing, that's going to be, it's not consistent with the stay home, stay safe policy. Although they are going to be changing this tomorrow again as to what we can do, what we can't do. One thing Matt had talked about was the culverts on 35, and having those, and we could bring that up at roads, but we can do it now too. Having those done now when there's limited traffic on the road, and we can probably keep the safe distance and stuff. And culverts are one thing that can be worked on through the state of emergency.
Are those the big culverts?
Failed culvert.
Yeah.
These are on the hill, just outside of Townsend. So, it says failed culverts are something that can be worked on. So, it might be reasonable to do that now.
And do you need flaggers for those too, Matt?
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna need flaggers. I got a contractor set up with an excavator to dig it for us. So hopefully we can do both of them in one day, but it might take two. But it should be a lot cheaper than spending the money that we allotted for doing that.
This is not going out for bid, the culverts?
No.
I think it's going to come in under that. Isn't that what we thought? Under the amount. You did get prices from different people, correct?
Yes, I did. I called Basin.
I'd like to know them prices.
Let's see. Basin Brothers, I think, was $140 an hour. Clark's was $135, I believe, an hour. And I forget who the last one was that I asked. Who was it?
Kind of interesting that.
No, Paul was $100 an hour.
Who was $100 an hour?
Paul Ferget.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting how during the flood, the only contractor in town that worked for you was Taylor Excavating, and they're not being asked.
I asked you about those last fall.
You said they were going out to bid.
I asked you if you wanted to do it like we did it before. You didn't answer me.
They said they were going out to bid. I'm not going to give a price if they're going to go out to bid. Verbal and then taking bid on it.
Are you interested in that still?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can talk to you after the meeting then. Is that all right?
Yep.
Jesus. All right. So do we want a motion to go ahead with that if we can go with the cheapest amount?
I think that everyone needs to put in talk to us about it, I think we should wait to make that motion in case there's someone else who wants to let us know what they're going to charge for the job. I guess we can go with the cheapest one, but I don't think we should close it just yet in case someone else wants to.
No, I'm not saying that we choose right now. I mean,
Okay.
we will talk to Danny about it. And go with the cheapest price.
That's fine.
And we got 3 already. We'll have 4. So
I'll make that
reasonable?
motion. I'll make that motion that we go with the cheapest one.
okay. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I see Don has joined us. Does he want to let us know about about the cemetery?
If we're gonna talk in the background and stuff, if you could put yourself on mute until you want to address the meeting there and stuff, that might be good.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
We can
Yep.
hear you now.
Okay. Just the cemeteries, and we haven't figured out when we're having our meeting yet. I don't know how many of my commissioners would be able to access this technology. But I just have about $136 expenditure for flags for the veteran graves for this year.
Okay.
We need board approval for that. Other than that, things are pretty quiet.
All right. Anything else, Don?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Hey, Don, I have a question. Have you heard about the school board meeting when that was postponed until?
No, I don't believe.
April 9th.
I
The only
believe I
know
got an
is what the Athenian has been sending out from Jack Breyer, but I probably should get a hold of Jack now that I'm on this advisory committee.
Okay.
I believe it was indefinitely postponed. I don't
Yes, it
believe
was.
they have set a date. Yeah, indefinitely.
Okay.
So,
All right.
nothing else. I
David,
don't think we need a motion for the flags there. We get those every year.
I'll make that motion.
I don't think we need one.
Okay.
We'll just do it up with the warrant there. They're a normal expense and that we use. All right. Anybody else for boards and officials?
Hey, David, I just want to mention that Hannah's done a superb job with the Athens website. Really nice job. I do have to get the minutes to her from the past cemetery commission meetings.
And this meeting right here is all thanks to Hannah. And if it wasn't for her, it would be a mess. And so, yes, we want to thank Hannah for the website and for the ability to have our meetings virtually. What?
You're very welcome.
All right. We'll move on to state of emergency update. Kim, do you have anything from the emergency committee? Tim? Sherry? Are they still with us? It looks like they are still with us, but
No, David,
Nothing.
no update. We were muted.
but you still, if anybody needs something,
Yeah.
you're still available and still okay.
Yeah.
That's all good. As we know, it's going to be the stay home, stay safe is going to be continued until May 15th. That may be extended, and there may be changes. There are changes every week. So hopefully we will see our way through this. Anybody else for anything on the state of emergency? Something with to do with sort of with the state of emergency and boards and officials. The state of Vermont, with Microsoft, have donated Wi-Fi equipment to make portable, not portable, but hotspots around the state to be used by anybody that want it. We signed up for that to be installed at the town office. Hopefully it will be installed on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. Don and Sandy are going to be there with them to help them set it up. And once it is set up, the parking lot should have good Wi-Fi service for anybody that needs it or wants it for school or for really anything. They can park there and do it. It's not for inside the building, it's for outside. We have a little bit of Wi-Fi out there now, but it's not very strong. And this will hopefully flood the area with that.
So David, a question on that?
Sure.
Will that be, will there be a open access to that as well as a protected access? Because
the Wi-Fi spot is, it'll be an open access. It will, there is and I don't know all of the technical aspects of it, but it can be controlled and it can be watched where it opens and where it doesn't. It won't be the computers inside.
Right, that was my question, really.
Will be password protected, and this will be designated as a public hotspot.
Okay, I mean, you have printers connected there too to Wi-Fi, I believe, right?
Yeah, it separates out what our the office internet and what is the hotspot. So it'll go to anybody will be able to use it, but they won't be able to get to the computers or the printers or anything in the office. And
do we have any sense as to what the need is in town? Do a lot of people not have access to Wi-Fi?
Well, if you don't know exactly who has it, who doesn't have it, but with school being on
right,
Wi-Fi and meetings like this and everything else being done remotely, the state and Microsoft came up with this program to donate their equipment, install the equipment for free, and it will become our equipment after the state of emergency. And the license will last for 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, we can re-up to get a license for it or discontinue it at that point. But so this won't cost us anything at this point in time.
David, will we be able to track how many people do use it so we would know if it's a service that we would want to continue?
I believe we can. Yeah, we can track. From what I hear from talking to the installer, we'll be able to track it. We can watch it remotely. What's how many people are on it, and but I'm not sure there's going to be everybody's going to be down there using it. But if 1 or 2 people use it, they can't get online. That might be worth it for somebody, so they don't have to go to town or go to someplace crowded to use the internet. So, any questions about that I can try and answer? All right. We'll go on to Taylor Hill. Danny wanted to have that put on the agenda tonight.
I had a couple things other than that too, David.
All right.
I had one question about getting 2 E91 addresses for 2 parcels here on the hill.
Okay. Darlene can set that up with you, can't you, Darlene?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you get, the other question is, how do you get a hold of the listers?
Call Amber Stevens. She is the chairperson of the listers.
Okay. And for Taylor Hill, I know there a few meetings ago there we all talked, and I thought we were all going to work together on it, but after seeing the letter that we received, I guess we're not. I guess my first question is, it said anybody affected by the decision can file it within 30 days to the court, dated of this letter. You guys made your decision the day of the viewing on the 26th.
My understanding is we had a month to do the decision, and then the appeal period would be after you received it.
All right, so because the way this reads, it's going by the date on the letter that you guys signed.
I believe it's the date you received it.
All right, because I called the courts and they said it's by that letter. But they also said that if I could prove that we didn't receive it until later, then they could do that too. But the way the writing is they're going by the letter. Then I guess the other question I have is, you know, when the very beginning of all this, we just asked for some help on just plowing and maybe sanding on this hill. And David, you said that you couldn't because it was not a town road. Am I correct?
That's correct. That's what we were told.
So my question is, why did you guys plow and sand 2 private roads all winter and you haven't many years past?
Which 2 roads are those?
Herring Hill and the one that goes up through past Ivor Stevens.
Walker Road?
Walker Road.
Well, Walker Road is a town road.
It's not all the way. There's no records in your office where it was ever taken back as a class 3 road.
Yeah, we found the minutes. We have the minutes where it was. It was done in 2006.
There was a public hearing?
Yes.
Where's all that stuff?
It's in the town office. We have the minutes for that.
Copies of that.
Sure, you can look at that. Herring Hill, I have talked to Andy Tepfer about that, and he indicates that he has measured it as well, and the measurement on the highway map goes up to the garage area where we have had it before, where we end maintenance of the road, past the first house up to the garage.
Yeah, I clocked it out too, and I got down by the first house, but when you turn around in his driveway, that's another 3/10 of a mile almost. That's not town road.
They do go past the garage there because it was difficult to turn around down there at the garage, to turn the truck around.
I'd like to see that stop, seeing that, you know, this is considered a private road too, and you guys didn't want to even really help. You just denied it. So I don't think the town equipment should be on any private property if that's the way it's going to be.
I think that's reasonable to say that we shouldn't be on private property. Does anybody else have anything? Denise?
Nope.
No.
So your letter is saying you guys are you're not going to do anything with it. It has to go to court.
We turned down the petition that was presented to us. That's what the letter says. That was what we acted on at that point in time. Yes.
So is there anything else you would act on other than taking it to court? I thought some of the meetings we had, we kind of discussed, you know, doing different things, but.
Yep. I mean, I think we can discuss that again. We can look at what we can do and what we can't do. I would prefer we didn't have to go to court. It'll cost you guys money. It'll cost the town money. Hopefully we don't have to go through that, but.
So when do we discuss this again?
Well, do we want to do it next month?
We could put it on the agenda for next month, Danny.
All right, just to keep in mind, you know, we're still curious. You know, we talked about different things that we could do and everything, and we were asking what your input was on it, and we never really got that, other than you guys said you wanted to work with us. So that's why this letter's a little shocking when we all received it.
Okay. Anything else, Danny?
Nope.
All right. Anybody else have anything for Taylor Hill?
I have a question.
Okay.
So I'm just curious about some of the timing things from what I just heard Danny say. And what I know from, doing the Athenian, there was a hearing in February. My understanding is that the decision on this was made following that hearing. I don't know if that's correct or not. Is it?
Within 30 days, we have to issue a notice.
No, I understand that.
Yes.
And you did that. You issued a letter just less than 30 days.
Yes.
Did you make the decision at the hearing? Following the hearing when you went into executive session?
We didn't go into executive session. We went into a deliberative session. We discussed it with the attorney.
And did you make the decision then?
The decision was when the paperwork was signed. That was signed and sent out. That was when the decision became official.
So that was then a decision made in an executive session at a select board meeting?
It was not an executive session. No, there was a deliberative session, and then the writing of the document and the review of the document by us. But it was never done in an executive session. There was a deliberative session at the end of the meeting, and then the decision was reviewed by the select board, signed and filed and mailed to the subjects involved.
So the decision was made then, and then the paperwork or the communication was confirmed at a later time. Is that right?
Well, the decision was not written that night, and it was a deliberative session, is what I guess we were saying, and it was
dated that night, the 26th, wasn't it? The 26th that we had to hear the viewing of the road.
It was not signed that night. No,
this is dated the 26th day of February 2020 with all your signatures.
Yes.
So that was,
but it wasn't signed that day. It was the day we had the deliberative session. We discussed what the outcome would be with our attorney, and he drafted the agreement, and that was when the deliberative session was, and when the decision was made how to proceed. The exact wording of it was not done that day, but the decision was made during the deliberative session.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. We will move on to the warrants, and I will make a motion that we approve the warrants and sign them.
I'll make a second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Roads.
David, on the warrants, the checks have already been made and ready to go out.
Yep.
Is it okay to send them out?
Yes, I believe so. I think we know what most of the stuff on the, unless there's something new on the warrant. Is there?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're all, and
was there a bill for the fix on the backhoe?
Yes.
Matt thought that was covered under warranty. Is that something that we can talk to them about so we don't have to pay it?
Yeah, we probably could.
Let me contact them tomorrow.
I called them today, guys, and I didn't get a solid answer on that, but it seemed like because it was just parts that were shipped, that's not covered under warranty. That was the half answer that I got.
Yeah.
okay.
Let me contact them tomorrow, and I'll straighten it all out and figure it out.
All right. And the engineer was on the warrant as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We move on to roads. Matt?
All right, everything's looking pretty good. Everything's drying out. Gotta clean a bunch of ditches and clean out some culverts. And everything's looking pretty good for the time of year that it is.
Okay.
I know you were saying some stuff that they were doing was not considered essential. Is ditches and culverts considered essential? So
Ditches are not, culverts can be. There is a sheet listed by the state of 4 municipalities with
but you said there was a new one coming out tomorrow?
there's supposedly a new one coming out tomorrow. So but yes, culverts can be done.
And does Matt have a copy of that so he knows what's essential and what's not?
I believe a copy, you got a email copy of that, Matt, have you? I believe.
Not yet.
Well, I will email that to you, the copy that I have. You probably got it if you're getting all of the emails but there are a lot of emails these days, so.
David, if they read the first order that went through, it states in there that it's basically anything to keep safe travels for public.
Yes,
so
but
even grading roads, and if there's a ditch that's full, it all qualifies if it's going to create damage or unsafe passage.
yeah, this is I think this is more recent, the one that I'm talking about.
Just 2 days ago it came down.
This would it look like this?
Yep, comes from the state, comes from Stu Johnson.
Yeah, that was my concern about the ditches, because if they're blocked and they're full and it's going to cause flooding on the road, I don't see why they're not essential.
If you call Mike Pickering right down to V-Trans, he'll tell you that what the state considers essential and what the town's considered essential are totally different things.
Two different things, yes.
Because the state does not have dirt roads around only up north, so it's pretty much up to the selectmen on this.
And I think it also goes to the fact that we can decide what is essential and what is not. If there is a ditch or a culvert or whatever, we can do that, so.
Do we need to make a motion for that, Dave, to have him do ditches that are going to flood the road?
No, I think we can, with the motion we made last month to approve stuff without a meeting, if for during the state of emergency, if there is something that needs done like that we can do that by phone. And, but I don't think that we need to make a motion for an emergency to deal with that. I think we can handle the emergency when it comes up. So, all right. Anything else, Matt, for roads?
Just that I'd like to get a computer for down here.
All right.
This is my son's computer, so.
I thought we sent one down there. Don't we have one in the office?
There was
It didn't work.
Yeah. I will purchase the computer and get it down there, and then town can reimburse me for that, if that's reasonable with you.
Yep.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. Jimmy?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. We will try a Chromebook, which is relatively inexpensive, but I think that will do what Matt needs with forms and email and things such as that.
Okay.
No, but does anybody have any problem with that?
Nope.
Chromebook? Okay. All right. I will get one of those for you. So.
David, I have a question for Matt.
Sure.
Yeah, Matt, the ledge work that you have been doing up on the top of 35, the hill, just before the hill that goes down into Townsend, I assume that was considered essential. Why is that? Why was that work done?
To get the water away from the road and get the ledge away from the road so the snow will, when you're plowing, does not come back underneath the truck back onto the blacktop. But we wanted to get it done before we paved that section of road.
Okay.
Seems like there's been more water up there since that's been done than there ever had been before.
Well, it just looks that way because you can actually see it now. But no, the ditch needs to be, we got the ledge removed, but we haven't finished the ditch itself yet.
All right. All right, any further business? I don't believe we need an executive session at this point.
David?
Yeah?
The thing that I emailed you all about regarding sick leave for the highway.
Yeah, I think that is pretty self-explanatory with the federal law, and I don't know the acronym for it, FF something. It says that we have to provide 2 weeks of sick leave that is not counted against the person's sick leave if they're quarantined or not. So without getting into any personnel issues or anything, I think that's, in reading that, I think there's no question that we have to, if somebody, it's an employee here, is quarantined, they get 2 weeks of paid. That doesn't count against their sick leave or vacation or comp time or anything.
Did we receive any paperwork on that?
What?
Did we receive any paperwork where he?
There's a VLCT bulletin out about that that explains what the federal.
Yeah, I read that. I mean, any paperwork stating that he was quarantined that we received?
Well,
or some doctor seen him or anything?
Knowing that knowing other people that have been in that situation, it wasn't FEMA, it was OSHA issued a ruling that said that doctors' notes are not required to come back to work or to report a quarantine issue. I think that was written with the assumption that there would be even more people at hospitals and quarantined than are at this point in time. But that was put out that I've had to deal with in my own job, that you can't ask for a doctor's note, and you won't get a doctor's note. The doctors won't, ones that I know won't, or we're dealing with, won't issue a note either to come back to work or to take you out of work.
Okay.
So, all right. Anything else with that? Are we all in agreement with what the VLCT bulletin said and the reading of it?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. All right. Is there any further business? All right. I will make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll wait to hear from you guys on the coverts.
Yes. All right. I make a motion we adjourn.
I'll second that.
At 19:40. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.